Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Casey. Thanks for checking me out. I know I've got a lot of videos that I've been making on investing, and a lot of it's been on growth, trying to invest in individual companies and stuff like that. But the reason for this video, the reason why I'm making it, is simply just to kind of take a step back, because I've thrown a lot of information out there in previous videos with day trading, the more short-term approach to investing, and I wanted to basically back up and dedicate a video to the long-term approach to investing. So if you're like somebody with a personality that's a little bit more conservative, you don't like to take a whole lot of risk, this is what this video is going to cover today, is investing, taking that kind of approach. Okay, now honestly, in my opinion, I think long-term investing is probably going to be your best bet. Now, if you've got money to lose and you can afford to, lose some money here and there, and you're more aggressive and you've got more time to make up those losses when it comes to the short-term investing, then sure, go right ahead. Give it a try with like the ETF momentum trading that I was talking about in a previous video. But today we're going to cover basically the steps that you're going to want to take. So if you paid off all your debt, congratulations. That's the first step in trying to get ahead and create a life of financial independence. That life you've always wanted. It is possible, but the first step again is starting off. You gotta pay off your debts. You gotta get rid of that debt, because if you don't, you're not gonna have the extra money to invest wisely, or invest the difference at the end of the month. When you've paid all your bills. Okay, so I want to go over something real quick. It's a book called Money Master the Game. Alright, it's by Tony Robbins. This book right here is probably, I've read, I don't know, close to 50 books since January of 2015, and right now we're in December of 2015. So I've read about 50 books just on investing, a few autobiographies here and there. A lot of that was because I taught myself how to speed read through a 67-step program with Tai Lopez, and they kind of taught us how to do that. So I've been reading a lot, and I picked up this book, Money Master the Game, and gave it a read, and it really inspired me after I got done reading it, because I learned a whole new game of investing to the long-term approach that I knew it was there, but I didn't know the ins and outs of it. And this book really covered in detail like what it really takes to invest for the long term, okay, and reduce your risk, and then get as much return as possible that you can get out of your money without really losing a whole lot. Alright, and I think that's the big difference between long-term investing and short-term investing, is that with short-term investing, you can't predict the future, you can't predict the markets, you don't know where they're going to go. Alright, and I've said several times in other videos, if you ever run into somebody who tells you, oh hey, this is going to work 100%, I know exactly what the markets are going to do, I've got a magic ball, whatever, I've got this secret formula or strategy that works every single time, that's a bunch of hogwash. Don't listen to it. Because after reading this book, it really gave me some clarity, and let me see exactly how it is that the wealthy invest. Like, I'm talking about, when I say wealthy, I'm talking about the 1%ers on up, all the way up to the 0.001% of the wealthy people. And a lot of the book here that Tony made, it took him 4 years to make it. All right, and just to give you a little insight as to what the book's about, he does interviews with 50 of the world's top wealthiest individuals on the planet. All right, we're talking guys like Jack Bogle, who is the founder of the Vanguard Fund, which is in almost every single 401k out there, that somebody has through a corporation. He interviewed Charles Schwab, Carl Icahn. He interviewed Warren Buffett. He interviewed who are some of the others here? Yeah, I'm trying to think. My mind's going blank because I'm trying to stay on track here. But check it out. It's a really good book. I'm sure you'll learn a lot, and I'm going to cover kind of the first part of it in this video here, and what I learned from Tony and some of the people that he interviewed, in the process of making this book. It took him 4 years to make it. So, this is insight from the world's most brilliant investing minds on the planet. Okay, and they all had something similar to say, but Tony breaks it down in his book, and that's what I'm going to show you here is something called asymmetrical risk reward. And you might be asking, what does that mean? I don't understand that. That's a bunch of terminology that just doesn't make sense. Let me explain it real quick for you. Asymmetrical risk reward. All right, all that is really, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, it's a way for you to invest your money in financial tools that are out there for everybody to use, and knowing basically what your risk is for putting your money in there versus how much money you can make on your investment. And again, reducing your risk means basically the rule to investing is you don't want to lose your money. So with the asymmetrical risk reward, he covers a way to set up your investments so that you can reduce the amount of money you're going to lose throughout a lifetime. And we're talking long term, so this is over the span of 20, 30 years of investing and trying to get ahead so that you can achieve financial independence and financial freedom. All right, so that's what asymmetrical risk reward is. It's knowing, okay, I'm going to put my money here in this investment, and I know the risk is I'm only going to lose 3% as opposed to say like 40% if I was going for growth, investing in individual companies. So that's to give you an idea of what it is. That's what it is. Now there's a way to reduce your risk. There's tools you can use, and I'll show those in a future video or two where I break down the different investments that you can use to reduce your risk, so that you're not losing 40-50% when the market crashes and we have like another 2008. So getting back to kind of the nuts and bolts to step 1, step 2, step 3. What do I do for long-term investing? This is how Tony Robbins breaks it down in the book. Basically, what you want to do first, of course, get out of debt. All right, and then when you get out of debt, you've got bills to pay still. So what you want to do is, after you get done paying your bills, if you have any cash flow left over, you want to take that cash flow and invest the difference. So when I say invest the difference, that's what I mean. You just take the cash flow or the money that you have available to you after you get done paying your bills, and you want to invest it. Put it aside, forget it, don't touch it. And as time progresses, there's something called compounding, which I've been talking about over and over in some of my videos. Your investments compound, so they grow over time. All right. So that's what you want to do. Pay off your debt, and then take the money and invest the difference when you get done paying your bills. So getting back to it though, after you've, got some money set aside and you've already paid your bills, where do you put that money? Because that's the biggest question that people have is, where do I put my money? I've had several people come to me and they're like, Casey, where do I begin? Because investing is such a broad spectrum and it's a broad topic. You can get lost really quick. And I'll admit it, I've gotten lost several times, in the last 6 years trying to get started in investing. I actually was doing everything backwards. So a lot of the videos that I showed you in the past with starting with financial independence, I linked a bunch of videos together showing you investing 101 and 102, things to look for. Those things that I was teaching you in those videos or showing you are correct. The only problem with it is they're based on your growth bucket, which is high risk. Okay, so you might have heard some of the stories I've been talking about in some of the previous videos that I had where I was talking about losing money because management from a company cooked their books, on their annual financial statements. That kind of stuff is high risk. And now I understand why it's high risk, and I know what to do to reduce the risk so that I'm not encountering those kind of problems later on down the road. And if I am, it's because I have the money already set aside for the long-term approach, and I can afford to lose this money just because, it's something I'm trying to go for growth. So, getting back to what I was talking about here with steps 1, 2, and 3, after you've paid off your debt and all that, you got cash flow, you're investing the difference, the first thing you want to do is focus on your security. All right? And security would basically be having all your bills paid, having everything covered, and you don't have to worry about anything. Your phone, your card, mortgage payment, everything's covered. All right? That's part of your security. Now imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have to worry about that anymore. And I can tell you right now, I've been there, and I'm actually still there right now. Everything's covered for me. It's not covered indefinitely because I don't have my security, I don't have my low-risk investments built up enough yet to where I can endure the storm. I can outlive my investments. That's ultimately what you want to do, because you're going to retire one day, and when you retire, the goal is you don't want to go back to work. You want to enjoy your golden years, say in your 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way up into your 80s and 90s before you die. You want to enjoy those years not having to work. So you want to focus on the security bucket first. And if you can get started early, that's even better, because you're gonna be at a way better advantage than most people are trying to get ahead in the long-term approach of investing. So starting out, you do your security bucket, and you may ask, and these are low-risk investments again, and you may ask, well, what are those low-risk investments? They're things like CDs. Okay, CDs are certificates of deposits. All right, and let me tell you, I've been aware of them. I just wasn't patient. When I first started investing, I wanted to make money right away. So what I did is I went in super aggressive because I was like, okay, I'm young, I can afford to lose the money, I've got a good paying job, I'm making good money, and I can afford to lose the money. What I didn't take into consideration, though, was starting from point one with the most simplest forms of investing long term, and taking that direction first before I got into the more aggressive stuff. And it wasn't a bad thing because I learned a lot trying to invest the aggressive way, but doing that wasn't working for me because my emotions were getting to me and I was just all over the place.